सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Hari Om. Salutations to all. We have done up till 15th mantra, so we will chant together. ॐ ईशावास्यमिदगं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथाः मा गृधः कस्य स्विद्धनम् कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेच्छतगं समाः एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे असुर्यानामते लोकाः अन्धेन तमसावृताः तांस्ते प्रीत्याभिगच्छन्ति ये के चात्महनो जनाः अनेजदेकं मनसो जवीयो नैनद्देवा आप्नुवन् पूर्वमर्षत् तद्धावतोऽन्यानत्येति तिष्ठत् तस्मिन्नपो मातरिश्वा दधाति तदेजति तन्नेजति तद्दूरे तद्वन्तिके तदन्तरस्य सर्वस्य तदु सर्वस्यास्य बाह्यतः यस्तु सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मन्येवानुपश्यति सर्वभूतेषु चात्मानं ततो न विजुगुप्सते यस्मिन् सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मैवाभूद्विजानतः तत्र को मोहः कः शोकः एकत्वमनुपश्यतः सपर्यगात् शुक्रम् अकायम् अव्रणम् अस्नाविरगं शुद्धम् अपापविद्धम् कविर्मनीषी परिभूस्वयंभूः याथा तथ्यतः अर्थान् व्यदधात् शाश्वतीभ्यः समाभ्यः अन्धन्तमः प्रविशन्ति ये अविद्यामुपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो यौ विद्यायागं रताः अन्यदेवाहुर्विद्यया अन्यदाहुरविद्यया इति शुश्रुमधीराणां येन तद्विचचक्षिरे विद्यां च यस्तद्वेदोभयगं सः अविद्यया मृत्युं तीर्त्वा विद्ययामृतमश्नुते अन्धं तमः प्रविशन्ति ये सम्भूतिमुपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो यौ सम्भूत्यागं रताः अन्यदेवाहु सम्भवात् अन्यदाहुरसम्भवात् इति शुश्रुमधीराणां येनस्तद्विचचक्षिरे सम्भूतिं च विनाशं च विनाशेन मृत्युं तीर्त्वा सम्भूत्या पिहितं मुखं तत्त्वं पूषन्नपावृणु सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये. Chanted by the seeker in the 15th mantra, he prays that, O Lord, please remove the golden veil that is covering your vision. Hiranmayena patrena satyasya apihitam mukham. And O sun, sun is the symbol of the Lord here, please remove this veil. Why? Satya dharmaya drishtaye, because I am a seeker of the truth. I have walked the path of the truth, dharma, and I want to know the truth. As a seeker, please help me remove this veil. So this is also called as Marga Yachana, where one is praying to the Lord to lead one to the destination. The highest destination that one has is the self-realization. Whatever is an obstacle on that. So what is the obstacle in self-realization? The main obstacle is ignorance. I don't know who am I. That he says, you please remove. Tattvam pushan apavranu. So this mantra can be chanted at the time of death also, the physical death, as well as it can be chanted even at the death of the ego. When the person is in the quiet moments of contemplation, when one has done one's best to detach from the body, mind, intellect, the effort that a jiva can put, that effort has been put. Now the last step is only grace of Bhagavan. So this prayer is a prayer by the meditator, that you are the sun, you are the nourisher of all, the protector of all, you please remove that veil. That last step has to happen by grace of Bhagavan. There nothing, the individual's effort has ended. There one cannot do anything. One has to wait. So Gurudev used to say that one has to wait patiently. Now please remember, this is language. Then if you say who is that one who is waiting, we are using finite words to express. There is no entity who is waiting there. That ignorance is still there, that has to go. The conscious identification with this entity, Mr. So and so, has been transcended through steady contemplation. Then a person is waiting. So this is the prayer for that. Now, having said this, this sixth wave is mantras 15 to 17. So the fifth wave just began, where he is praying to the Lord that one is, you please remove this veil. Now further is another prayer now. See the 16th mantra. Pushanne karshe Yamasurya Prajapatya Vyuharashmin Samuha Tejaha Yatte Rupam Kalyanatamam Tatte Pashyami Yosavasau Purushaha sohamasmi. So the 15th mantra, according to this Madhyandina Shakha, 15th mantra is the last. With that, Upanishad is over. The Kanva Shakha takes up to 18. And actually that 18th mantra, when we come to, so that will be the end of this portion of Shukla Yajurveda also ends with that last mantra there. So now that's why the next 3 mantras, 16, 17, 18, are there in the Kanva Shakha. So now what does this say? Pushan. Pushan means the same word as earlier. Pushan means the nourisher, means Surya. So the Surya is not the sun alone. See, these are the mantras which tell us very clearly that how we don't think of sun as only the ball of fire. For us it is Bhagavan. Pushan means a nourisher. Now beautiful adjectives given of Pushan. Pushan ekarshe. Ekarshi in the vocative becomes ekarshe. Ekarshi means what? He is the lone seer. Ishvara is the main seer of all the mantras. Then we may reveal it to different people, but otherwise Ekarshi here is the Lord. The lone seer, one seer, Ekarishi. And also it means the lone traveler. The lone traveler, because the word Rishi means that. Rishi does not mean only a seer. Rishi means one who goes. And here Ekarshi. So Ekarshi here means the lone traveler, meaning the lone illuminer of the whole world. As Surya, he is the main illuminer in this solar system of ours. Ekarshi. All the other sources of light come from him. So he is the lone traveler, the lone seer. And beautiful meaning of this Ekarshi also, science if you see, then we are very clear that earth also rotates, sun also rotates. So it's not that some people thought that earth is stationary, sun goes around. Some people thought earth is stationary, sun goes around. Earth is stationary, sun goes around, sun is stationary, earth goes around. Here it is saying both are going around. Ekarshi means that. And that's what the reason why, if you see Hanumanji, in Hanuman Mela we have an interesting activity. If you want to know what it is, come there. Hanumanji, he learned the Vedas in how much time? 60 hours. In 60 hours, he mastered the Veda, and who was his guru? Surya Bhagavan. Now, Surya Bhagavan is walking. If Surya is facing and Surya is moving like this, how will you learn from Surya? If you are standing next to him, you cannot. The Guru has to face the Shishya, Shishya has to face the Guru. So if the Shishya is here and the Guru is here, if the Guru is walking like this, what Shishya has to do? Walk backwards. And walking backwards, he learnt. You just think. 60 hours mein he finished mastering the entire Veda. 60 lifetimes also we cannot master. In 60 hours he finished walking with the sun like this. हाँ? सिद्धि था हनुमान जी के पास, पहले सिद्धि नहीं था, सिद्धि तो बाद में आया. When he went to learn, that time he was small only, but he learned. Yeah. चलो, even if you consider 60 devatas hours, चलो कोई बात नहीं. Actually, it is human hours only because Hanumanji was born on earth. No, he is not in Devalok. He is born on earth. So it is 60 human hours only. My point is this, कि 60 hours में he learnt ulta walking. So that's why the point is Ekarshi. Ekarshi means one rishi and one who goes. So sun is also traveling, the lone traveler. See, these are simple words, but in which the science is hidden. And for Upanishads, this is all very, very, what we say, insignificant fact, which will take decades and generations for people to discover. For these Upanishadic masters, it is very insignificant. Bhagwan is being referred to here. Bhagwan is a mantra drashta. Bhagwan knows everything. If Bhagwan reveals, then it will be the fact. So, Pushan Ekarshe, oh Lord, you are the lone seer, you are the lone traveler as the sun. Then Yama, Sanyamat Yamaha, one who brings control. By sun only we have control in our life or not. Our time is measured by what? As per the sun. Ideally, by the sun's clock, we are supposed to live. So there will be some amount of discipline in our life that when sun rises, before sunrise, we wake up, get ready, then do Surya Darshan, Arghya Pradhan and all that. And then that day's activities start. And then again in the evening, we will do the Sandhya Vandan, etc. Eat early, go to sleep. So Yama means here one who brings control. So as Surya also he brings control, and as Ishvara he only controls everything. Without Ishvara's grace nothing happens. So Pushan Ekarshe Yama Surya. So what is the meaning of Surya? See, these are given by Shankaracharya in his commentary only. I am not saying. Rasanam Svikaranat Surya. The etymological meaning of the word Surya is that Rasanam Svikaranat Surya. So sun with its rays dries up, no? The water and anything you keep in the sun will become, it will become dry, it will lose the moisture, water etc. is absorbed away by the sun. So Surya is that you are the one who by its rays consumes everything. And Surya only is responsible for the same water that he has taken up from the oceans and, lakes and all that, becomes sweet and falls as the rain. So he may be the cause of taking up the water, but he takes the water for what? To return back as rains. So is Surya. Pushan Ekarshe Yama Surya. Prajapatya. He is the son of Prajapati. Vyuha Rashmin Samoha Tejaha. You please disperse your rays and withdraw them. Why? Because your form is so brilliant that we can't see. Daytime sun can we see? So difficult. Which sun is most beautiful to see? Rising sun or setting sun? Why? Because the rays of the sun are not as powerfully generating so much heat, and we are able to see because the sun rays as though are withdrawn. So he says, you please withdraw your rays like that. Vyuha Rashmin Samoha Tejaha, your brilliance and your sun rays, you please withdraw. Like how? See, the same Surya in the morning, in the night becomes so pleasant. In the afternoon is very ugra, very hot. Same thing in our life also we see. No? A military officer will be very, very strict, disciplined. And everybody will be scared of that military officer. When that same person comes home, he removes the uniform, he becomes a mouse in front of his spouse. Whoever it can be. Every profession, not military. Every profession, story is the same at home. So, they have withdrawn their power. and become more amiable, pleasant. So he says, "Oh Lord, you please withdraw like that, because why? Yatte rupam kalyanatamam." That auspicious form of yours is what I want to see. Tatte pashyami. That form I want to see. Why I want to see that form? Because I am a seeker. Remember, Satya Dharmaya Drishtaya was said. Because I am a seeker of the truth. Now these three lines we can interpret at different levels. One level is the physical level of sun. That somebody who is worshipper of the sun worships sun as the life giver, as the nourisher, as the one who disciplines, all that. And those qualities come into a person. Or what one can think of, that whichever form of the Ishtadevata it is, need not be only sun, because sun is symbol of Ishvara here. So it can be any form. It can be Krishna, Rama, Durga, Devi, Ganesh, any form. Whichever form one is worshipping, all these qualities will be there in that form. That Ishvara is the nourisher, Ishvara is the discipliner, Ishvara is the controller. Everything is that Ishvara. That form of Ishvara, which is my Ishtadevata's form, the devotee is praying, please show me that auspicious form. Whichever form one has worshipped, the prayer is, you please show me that auspicious form, Kalyanatamam Rupam Tatte Pashyami. That I want to see. So this is a prayer for an upasak praying to the Lord, please show the auspicious form on which I have meditated for so long, whose name I have chanted. So those aspects. So one is the form of sun physically, second is the Ishtadevata's Rupa, and third can be the Vishwarup also, the cosmic form, because sun pervades the whole universe. Same way Ishvara pervades the whole universe. So one whose mind is still more trained and subtle will see the whole world as the form of Bhagavan. Like the Vishwarup that he saw, Arjun was shown by the Lord, the Vishwarup, Virat Rup. That Rup is not easy to see. Even there in the Gita, Arjun is praying to the Lord, ki this Rup is very ugra, I am not able to handle this. He got very scared and very nervous. So the devotee is praying that even that Vishwarup I am seeing, you are this whole universe, this whole cosmos, may I be able to comprehend that form. Yatte rupam kalyanatamam tatte pashyami. At absolute level, though, of course, it means that may I comprehend the most auspicious. What is the most auspicious? Is the Atma. Yatte rupam kalyanatamam. Kalyanatamam means superlative degree. Most auspicious. Kalyan means positive. Kalyanatara means comparative. And Kalyanatamam is superlative. The most auspicious. May I behold that form, meaning please reveal my true nature to you. That is also conveyed in the fourth line. Yo savasau purushaha soham asmi. Why? Because that Purusha in you and the Purusha here is the same. This is Advaita. Purusha in you and Purusha in me is the same meaning. The self in the sun, the self that illumines the sun, the self that illumines this is one and the same. Which is what is the Gayatri Mantra also saying. Dhiyo yona prachodayat. May our buddhi be illumined well so that we realize that sun, that Purusha. We are not praying to Surya. We are praying to the Lord who is pervading Bhuhu Bhuva Suvaha. So that Surya represents that Purusha, the one Purusha, because there are not many Purushas. One sun reflecting in this whole universe, like we see in thousands of pots. One sun is reflecting as so many reflections. So this Rashmi also means that. So Rashmi here means the rays of the sun. Those rays of the sun, are they different from the sun? They are the one with sun. No? Same way, each of us appear to be like a ray of the sun If there are 100 people sitting here, then there are 100 rays as though. They all are nothing but that one sun only. Each jiva here is nothing but that pure consciousness reflecting in one body, mind, intellect. So the consciousness in the jiva and consciousness in the Ishvara is one and the same. So yosavasav purusha. So purusha means, one meaning is cosmic person. So that cosmic person and this meaning Ishvara and this jiva are one. Purusha word has two other etymological meanings. Purusha, one meaning is Puranat Purusha, that which fills. So one who fills everybody with prana, with life, with intelligence, that is the Supreme Lord. Today a lot of people do sun worship, and through that sun worship, what do? They take in prana. They will say, you come and worship, you meditate in front of the sun, expose yourself to sun and take in the sun prana. That's a new thing. I don't know if you all know. Let us have a meditation session where we will take in the sun prana. We have done this before, in each of the 5 elements, prana is there. So earth prana we are taking through food. Fire prana we are taking through sun. Air prana is when we breathe. Water is when we drink. And space is through the upvas. So each of the 5 elements have prana. Through these five elements, one takes in prana. So Puranat Purusha, one who fills everybody. From where did that Surya get that capacity to nourish and nurture? Remember that shloka which we chant generally in Aarti. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi tameva bhantam. Lot of people say tvameva bhantam. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. That the sun cannot shine there, the moon, the stars, the lightning, none of them can shine there. Why? Because that is not an object. The self is that pure consciousness which pervades the whole universe, which is making everybody function the way they are functioning. That self and this self, yo asav purushaha saha aham asmi, that I am. So this is in the meditation, this seeker realizes this. In the prayer, he is praying that you please reduce your Ugra Swarup so that I realize this oneness. Yosavasav Purusha Soham Asmi. So one meaning of this is Purusha is Puranat, one who fills everybody with life, energy, vitality, all that. Second meaning of Purusha is Puraushete iti, one who is the indweller in this city. Pura means city. Puraushete meaning one who is the indweller in the city. Like a city has 9 gates, this body of ours also has 9 gates. Who is the indweller in that? Really the indweller is the Atma only. We have forgotten the Atma and we think I, Mr. So-and-so is dwelling here. That Mr. So-and-so is Atma conditioned with one BMI. It doesn't have its own independent existence at all. So this is the prayer where he is saying, you please show that auspicious form. Why? Because I want to realize my oneness. In devotion as well as in knowledge, that is what is the main, where the individual loses one's identity in the Lord, that is Parabhakti. Same way in Jnana also. The supreme devotion is equal to supreme knowledge. In the knowledge part, one says, I am not the BMI, I am that pure consciousness which enlivens the Jiva here and the Ishvara there. Jiva gone, Ishvara gone. What remains? Consciousness remains. Now, so these are 2 prayers. 15 and 16, they are 2 prayers which a seeker can do in the seat of contemplation, meditation, and wait for the grace of the Lord to descend. Also in this mantra, this word Surya, self only it is correct. Surya is the self. Yeah. Ushanye karcha yama Surya prajapatya. Now these two mantras one has prayed. Now, if one would have realized the truth by now, see, first one we saw already in the 8th mantra where the Mahavakya was given in the first two words, Sa Pariyagat. In that the Mahavakya is given. Now, if somebody has already realized, then they don't have to do those two prayers. They already realized people. If somebody has not realized, then they may do the prayer, those two mantras. And through that prayer, maybe the veil is lifted. They have realized the truth. But suppose still that person has not realized. Those two mantras of prayer are also over. The person has not yet realized. And the time has come now to drop the body. Then what to do? Now these two mantras, 17 and 18, are meant for that. This is not meant for a realized person. The realized person already realized, so they don't need these mantras. This is meant for those people who may be highly advanced, whose last veil of ignorance is to be removed, but that didn't get removed. And now the person is about to die. Or people who have done upasanas, who have still a long way to go, it is meant for them. So it is meant for these two types of people. Either a highly advanced seeker who is just on the verge of realization but didn't realize, or a seeker who has done upasana, etc., has not yet reached the heights which are required to realize the self by that person. So now what is the prayer you see? Mantra number 17. Vayuranilam amritamatedam bhasmantagam shariram Om Kratosmara Kritagam Smara Kratosmara Kritagam Smara. These two mantras one should memorize. Because if we don't realize by chance, if you realize, no problem. If you don't realize by chance, then chant this. If you feel, "Arey, ye to bahut complicated hai," then just take Bhagwan's name, because they say Om. Just remember Om. Okay, simple it is. If you can remember this, great. If you can't remember, remember Om. So what is this saying? Saying Vayuhu. So here Vayu is the prana which is there in us. And Anilam. Anilam is the total prana. So Vayuhu Anilam, meaning may this, the prayer says, may my prana merge with the total prana. Now please remember, prana here does not mean only prana. The prana word here means full subtle body. The subtle body, as long as it is there, till then rebirth will keep happening. And subtle body is there, why? Because ignorance is there. Now that ignorance is not gone, then the rebirth will keep happening. So for such people, the prayer here is praying that please let this subtle body merge with the total subtle body. Total subtle body is called Hiranyagarbha or Sutratma. Meaning, may I lose my sense of individuality, which I was not able to do at this moment in this life. At least, see, our culture says even at the last minute, if this happens, job is done. So one should never give up कि भाई अब तो गया, अब कुछ नहीं हो सकता. No, even in the last minute, one can pray to Bhagwan, saying, let this subtle body merge now. You please remove your veil of ignorance and merge this subtle body so that I will get liberation now. Enough. Who wants to come back again and again? If anybody wants to come, they are happy to come, but the seeker is saying here, I am tired. How many times to come again and again here? So he says, Vayur Anilam Amritam Athedam. This Amrita here is what? This is not. If the seeker gets the absolute immortality, Amrita here means that. But if the seeker doesn't get that absolute immortality and the body drops, then Amrita here means what? The seeker will go to the world, to those lokas where the upasya of the seeker is there. Meaning, suppose I have done worship of Lord Shivji, then one will go to Shivlok, Kailash. Amrita here means relative immortality for such people. So he is praying that please, either my mind must become one with the total mind, my prana must become one with total prana, I lose the sense of individuality and I realize absolute truth. Help me even in this last moment to do that. But suppose that is not happening, very difficult, then at least lead me to that state, which is my Ishta Devtas Loka. Why? Because this body is anyway going to drop. Bhasmantagam Shariram. What is this body? It is going to go back to ashes only. See, when we drop the body, body will go back to ashes. Prana will merge in the 5 prana. Then what is the need for prayer? The prayer is required here because we have attachment to the body. And we may think we don't have attachment to body. But when the time to drop the body comes, then. So this is a preparation for us saying, body bhasmantagam, this is going to become ash. What is there to be attached to this? This is the reason why we are continuously in the cycle of birth and death. Not knowing who am I think I am the BMI. I'm stuck in cycle of birth and death. This body which we think is me, that is the cause of the whole sorrow. So bhasmantagam shariram. This is preparation for a mind. This is a very powerful mantra. This is not ordinary mantra. Every day if I chant this, fear of death will just go. Number 1. Number 2, priority in life will come straight, that I need to realize the truth. Whatever helps me to realize that, go towards that. Whatever helps me, whatever takes me away from it, drop it. Bhasmantagam shariram. This body will become ash. How much body identification? Whole life has gone in what? Strengthening this body identification only. Bundle of ash. Bhasmantagam shariram. Literally the meaning of the word sharira is what? Shiryamanatvat sharira. That which will decay, perish. Not only one day it will decay and perish. Every minute it is decaying and perishing only. If I destroy my body identification, then that is called the vibhuti. The bhasma that becomes vibhuti. That is what Shivji applies all over his body. Vibhuti means Visheshena Bhuti, a special way of being. What is the special way of being? My true self is a special way of being. I am not this body, mind, intellect. To think I am this body, to live as the body, in the body. Gurudev used to say, to live in the body, as the body, for the body, is the cult of the Virochana. Who is Virochan? Is the Rakshas. Having got a human body, I can realize the self before I drop this human body by dropping this body identification. Bhasmantagam shariram. Ordinary seeker's body, ordinary person's body also will become ash. Seeker's body also will become ash. Then what is the difference? Difference is in the attitude. Ordinary person lived pampering the body, lived in the body, as the body, for the body, and died with the pain that I am dropping this. A seeker says this body anyway is going to perish. Quickly use this and realize the truth. What is there in this body to hold on so much? It's a bundle of dirt and filth. One bundle of dirt covered nicely. That's all it is. What else it is? Bhasmantagam shariram. consuming so many resources. So when the seeker understands this very clearly, okay, this is body is going to perish. Vayu anilam amritam. Atha means now. Atha idam bhasmantagam shariram. Now that I have realized this, that this is only a bundle of dirt and filth and I am not this. This is not an intellectual thought. Please remember, this is the sadhana that one has done so far. And lived in self-discipline to understand I am not the body. So the word atha there means there is no fear now. Because I know the body is going to drop. I am not this body. Even if one has not risen 100% above body identification, because this knowledge is there and one has lived in certain discipline, not pampering the body but just taking care of the body, there will not be any fear. Do any of us fear leaving the chair when we go from here? अरे इसको छोड़ना पड़ेगा. But the other chairs people are very attached to. They don't leave that chair because the sense of identity comes from that chair only. Power comes. Same way, this body. I am this body. I am scared of this, dropping this. Because I don't know who am I. Once a person knows I am not this, to leave it is not a problem at all. A child who is so attached to teddy bear doesn't sleep without it, doesn't eat without it. Once the child grows up, does anybody here hold on to a teddy bear? No. What is that? Nothing is there in that. If I have understood this spiritual life properly, this is the prayer actually by the seeker, saying, you please let this happen at the time of death. Why? Because if I live as the body, then what is my gati, if you remember? What is the gati? Verse number 3. Asurya namate lokaha andhena tamasavrataha tamste pritya vigachanti yeke chatma hanojana. He says, you are committing suicide, the mantra said. One will go to sunless worlds, dark worlds. This seeker is saying, I will not go. I have done my upasana properly. I will not go to such worlds. So, bhasmantagam shariram, this body is going to go. Let it go. I have no attachment to this body. What about the mind? Krato smara. Krato here means mind, O mind. Kratu means mind. One meaning of kratu is mind. And kritam means whatever is done. So kratosmara means, oh mind, remember. What? Remember two things. First, remember Om, meaning remember Bhagwan. At the time of dropping the body, what should be the thought in my head? Only Bhagwan. Nothing else I need to think actually. That's why when a person is dying, they give one drop of Ganga water or one Tulsi leaf to tell that person, Kyare, forget everything else. Remember, Gangaji means highest knowledge that you are Brahman. Tulsi means devotion. That surrender to Bhagwan, that's all. Nothing else you won't have to worry about. What will happen to my children and what will happen to my property and what will happen to this and that and my email account and this is my password and these are bank accounts. अरे मेरा पोस्ट डालो, इंस्टाग्राम पे डालो, मैं मर रहा हूँ. Imagine people who die, na, that what was that blue whale game? The last thing that they have to do is shoot their video jumping. What is he saying here? Om Krato Smara. Are, remember Bhagwan Baba. Why? Because whatever I think at the last minute, I will attain that. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavita. Whatever one thinks, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram. Kalevaram means body. When the body is being dropped, whatever one thinks, tam tam evaiti kaunteya, that only one will go to. Imagine the great Rishi, Bharat Muni, he became what? He became a deer. Living alone in that forest, he got attached to a deer. That is also a harmless attachment in that sense. Harmless meaning he didn't have any selfish interest in it. Every attachment is harmful otherwise, but he didn't have any selfish interest. He wanted to take care of the fawn. The mother had died. He is taking care of the fawn. Now he got so attached to that fawn. It is so cute, so lovely, so nice. And then in a few days he died. So what he became in the next life? He became the fawn. He became a deer. But because he had done so much of sadhana, so he remembered, see this attachment I got stuck to, now look at this, my condition. So the next life he was born, he was like a corpse. Jada Bharat he is called. He is dead to the world. He doesn't bother only about the world. Just focus on a sadhana, realize the truth. Ho gaya. Just think last few days, little attachment came. He doesn't want anything from the deer. But he got attached. This deer is so nice. Khatam. How many things we get attached to? He says, Om Kratosmara. Remember that Supreme Lord alone. We have no duty towards anybody else at that time. And there also the mantra is very kind to us. Because we may forget. Suppose you say Gayatri mantra, remember karo. Bola, are 24 akshar kisko yaad rahenge? Om, that's all. Om, Om, Om. Om iti ekaksharam Brahma. One Brahman. One word Brahman. So the name of the Lord and the form of the Lord. Very important. If one has done upasana properly, that only will come. Sada tadbhava bhavitaha. Whatever I have feeling for, no, that only will come. So it's not a question of remembering just mechanically. Do I have feeling for Bhagwan? If I am Satya Dharma, I have feeling for Bhagwan, then it will come. So the instruction to the mind here is, oh Bhagwan, you please make my mind remember this. If I don't realize the truth before I drop the body, please help me to realize you, to remember you, sorry. Om Kratosmara. So that is the first thing to remember. And second thing he says, Kritagam Smara. And whatever you have done in the past, in the life, in this whole life, of that, all the good things you remember. All the negative things, just let go. Negative things make us very heavy. Positive things will make us light. When we drop the body, we should go out light. Not heavy, loaded with all regret, guilt, worry, fear, sorrow, anxiety. Nothing. Drop all that. Whatever has happened, happened. Surrender to Bhagwan, saying ki Bhagwan, I am surrendering all these negative karmas to you. Just remember the good things. And in that, most important is what? See, the intensity with which we have gone through something, that those impressions will be very strong on the mind. Positive or negative. Ordinary impression things we don't bother. Most intense expressions will be what we will remember. In that, we should let go. This is a training in life itself. That let go of the negative. Not only at the time of death, now also. You just think about it. At the body level also, if it is like that, to float, we have to have air inside and we have to be light. I am learning swimming, so I am experiencing that. Body keeps going down in water only. It goes down. If you have to float, we have to just relax. Let go, then it will float. The body only is like that. Then what to talk about the mind? What all we carry in our mind? 30 years back this happened, 50 years back this happened. Arey, why? Learn from it whatever has to be learned and just drop it. You know the saying is there, to err is human and to forgive is. Change that saying. Because Bhagwan to forgives all the time. The saying must be changed. To err is human, to forgive is also human. I have to only forgive. Whom? Myself first. I made mistakes, so who said I cannot make mistakes? This world makes us feel like that. Don't make any mistake. If you make a mistake, you are a fool, you are a loser, you are like this, you are like that. In spite of saying all that, I am still making mistake only. And because I'm getting trained like that, so I am still making mistake. And what is wrong if I make a mistake? Wantedly, if I'm doing something wrong to somebody at that point in time for my evolution, I was capable of that much only. That much selfishness, ego, whatever was there, I did some mistake now. I hurt somebody. Now what? That means I will live like this forever. No, I have to drop it. I have to say, forgive myself. I did a mistake. Sorry. Drop. So no need to carry guilt, fear, burden. One has to become light. Simplest way to become light is Bhagavan's name we remember, destroy all the papa. We resolve not to do that again. Having learned the lesson, resolve not to do that again and then let go of it. Khatam. So remember two things only. Remember, best is to remember only Bhagavan. But if suppose Bhagavan alone I am not able to focus on, then Bhagavan and whatever good things I have done, good memories, positive thoughts, what difference I have made to the world in a good way. Remember those things. Om Krato Smara, Kritagam Smara. One meaning of this is this. The other meaning is Kratu also means sacrifice, ritual. Meaning remember all the sadhanas that you have done. One meaning of Kratos, one time Kratos Smara means remember all the sadhanas that you have done. And second meaning is remember all that the God and Guru has given you. So what I have done and what I have got as blessing. Kratos Smara, Kritagam Smara. Why? Because the more I think about sadhana, more the mind will become positive and hopeful. No, स्वामी जी हमने तो कोई साधना ही नहीं किया तो अब क्या याद रखेंगे. Remember ईशावास्य class you attended ना, बस. I am not joking. How many people are able to attend Ishavasya? You tell me. I am not taking only Ishavasya. Any Upanishad, anywhere. How many people get the chance to listen to Brahma Vidya? Some punya you must have done. Then only you are here. And you are sustained. Ishavasya Upanishad, if you have sustained after mantra 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 6 mantras you have gone through now. Most confusing mantras. Majority give up in those mantras only saying, nahi, nahi, chhod diya. You have sustained that much. Mas, remember that much ki some class we attended Ishavasya Upanishad class. Bas. Point is simple. Remember whatever sadhana one has done. And remember all the grace and blessings of Bhagavan which are there in us, in our life. Without grace of Bhagavan, Manushya Janma will not happen. Without grace of Bhagavan, Guru will not come into the life. Without grace of Bhagavan, Shastra knowledge will not come. Without the grace of Bhagavan, I will not be able to sustain this at all. My own extrovertedness will make me drop out. There are so many who joined. How many are who have completed? Maybe 70%, 80% would have completed. 20% would have gone off. So, we have to remember all that. The positive blessings are always to be remembered. That will make the mind light. So, Om Krato Smara, Kritagam Smara. Once again it comes. Krato Smara, Kritagam Smara. What is the greatest achievement that one has had? That all has happened by the grace of Bhagavan. So first line, we have to remember what all we have achieved. Good things in life, sadhana in life. By our punya, the grace of the Lord, blessing of the Guru, etc. has come into our life. The second time, Krato Smara, Kritagam Smara is where we are praying to Bhagavan that Lord, you please remember what all good I have done. So you remember what all I have done, the sacrifices I have done, the rituals I have done, the upasana I have done, sadhana I have done, and please give me the result of those according to my karma. So according to my karma sadhana, please give me appropriate gati. See, three things come by our sankalpa actually. Akhandanand ji wrote this very nicely in his commentary. He said kriti, mati and gati. These three things depend on our sankalp. Kriti means all the karmas we have done. Mati means the buddhi, the knowledge. Now these two will come with us. Yatha karma, yatha shrutam, says Kathopanishad also. What comes with a human being ahead is one's own karma, one's own dharma. These two only will come. With dharma means all the gyan and everything. So that is called mati. So kriti and mati, these two will come with us. And according to the kriti and mati, according to my actions and according to my knowledge, will be my gati. And all these three depend on my sankalp. Action, kriti. Knowledge, mati. And gati is what is my next state after dropping the body. Kriti, mati and gati. These three will come with us according to my sankalpa. Through the life sankalpa also, and at the last moment sankalpa also. Last minute also I can remember all the things that I have done, what are the knowledge that I have acquired, and accordingly the gati will happen. See, what happens is we are so caught up in doing action that this upasana, sadhana, all that we don't give importance at all so many times. We just let it go, saying ki abhi nahi, baad mein, baad mein, baad mein. And that baad mein never comes. One postpones spirituality thinking it's a post-retirement plan. But after retirement, there are many other things to do. Somebody's wedding is there, and somebody's delivery is there, and some grandchild is born, and then grandchild's education is there, and babysitting has to be done. कब इसका अंत होने वाला है नहीं. करिष्यामि 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 इति चिंतया मरिष्यामि 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 इति विस्मृतम. I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. In that whole chakkar, one has forgotten कि अरे one day I am going to die, Baba. So what have I taken for my journey after this? What have I prepared? We prepare or not? If you want to go from here to America, even if they give you food in flight, you will still prepare and take or not? And if you are Gujaratis, to 100%. Thepla chundo has to come. What is it called in our Gujarati? It's called bhathu. Bhathu means what you eat on the way. What is the bhathu after dropping the body? Where is the thepla and where is the chunda? If that sadhana is not done, that food I am not carried, what will happen to me? Chalo, I have not done. The best part is this only. Suppose I have not done. At least somebody else behind me can do for me. उनको भी मना कर दिया, मेरे पीछे कोई क्रिया कर्म नहीं करना. Oh, very good. You are also not done. They also don't need to do. अभी जाओ, भटको अभी. CAA and NRC is already there in the universe. India में है कि नहीं पता नहीं. Illegal entry is not possible anywhere. अब है ही नहीं आपके पास valid, what is that called, documentation. भगवान says नहीं है, तो जाओ अभी, entry नहीं मिलेगा. So kriti, gati and mati all depend on our sankalp. It's a very powerful line what Akhandanand ji wrote. So am I very sure of my kriti, that my karma will lead me to Brahmalok? No. Am I sure of my mati? All my knowledge, that my knowledge has made my mind so firm, so sharp, so single pointed that I will attain the highest. If I am not sure of my kriti and my mati, how will I be sure of my gati? No, Swamiji, I don't believe there's any gati. There's only one life. But then Upanishad, you are not ready for Upanishad, Baba. One life is not possible. That one life theory is very, very shallow. That means I came from nowhere, I am going into nowhere. Then no need to study Upanishad. Why are you studying Upanishad? If one life only is there, why to study at all? So, Kriti, Mati and Gati. So, this Sankalpa is not just throughout the life, it is also more important at the time of death. Because it is like that, when you go from here, the predominant thought in the mind will determine where will you go out from here, no? Whether you will go home or go to a hotel or go to some marriage, wherever you will go. You already thought and came. After Ishavasya class, I have to go here. Already thought. Sankalpa is there. And when you go from here, that Sankalpa will get re-strengthened and then you go out from here and you go to that place. Same way, at the time of death, what should I remember? Krato smara, kritagam smara. Twice it is said that please remember God, Om. And also remember all the good things, all the knowledge we have to acquire. That's the reason why. So that one will know what will be my gati. And please remember, because knowledge is coming with us, when the body is dropped, that knowledge comes with us. One will be able to recognize with that knowledge. Oh, this is the Brahma Loka, this is the, this Loka, this is that Loka. One will know everything. Why? Because knowledge has come with me. If I don't have, then I am figuring out who is who. कहाँ पे आ गए, कौन ले जा रहा है मुझे, यम के दूत है कि विष्णु के पार्षद है, कौन है ये? I am not joking, Baba. I am telling you fact. You are not believing. देख लेना बाद में जब होगा तब. Whatever upasana one does, one will go to that loka. We saw in that earlier 9, 10, 11, that mantra. That Ajamil story, all that is not false. He by mistake he called his son. Not by mistake, he called his son, what was his name? Narayan. Narayan was his name. He just called his son Narayan, but because he took the name Narayan, Yamadutas who had come to take him went back, Vishnudutas came and they took him out and brought him back. He actually didn't die. And if you read Ajamil story in Bhagavatam, he didn't die. He had a near-death experience. He said, one time I said, Narayan, that also unconsciously thinking of my son, and Bhagwan's Parshad came, Yamaduta went. So he actually transformed. He became a great devotee. That's why keep the name of children Bhagwan's name. Don't keep Mia, Pia, Tia. पता नहीं क्या क्या नाम रख देते हैं. अरे, all this we are feeling, we are joking, Baba, but these are all real facts. At the end, whose name will come? If I am attached to my children, that only will come, no? People keep any name, Hebrew name, this name, that name. In our culture, the name is to be kept according, with Bhagwan's name, so that you remember at least that. All that has an impact on the mind, whether you believe or not. It is there. So, Krato Smara, Kratangam Smara means that, please remember. Tell the mind, remember this. Don't remember anything else. Ab this much buddhi will come when? Not suddenly at the time of death. Over a period of time when I have studied properly, understood the goal of my life, then only that knowledge will come at that point to help. And that's why we every day chant that, Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu. In that one line comes, Tejasvina Vadhitamastu. May the knowledge that I have gained be brilliant, not rusted knowledge. May the knowledge be brilliant, meaning it should come to use when I need. When will I need? When I drop the body, that time I need knowledge. That I am not the body. Then I can eject out of the body fast. No pain. 2, after dropping the body, again I need knowledge. What is the gati? 3, to realize absolute. Wherever I go, I can still My journey to realize the Supreme doesn't stop till I realize. So I don't get lost in the karma phala of that loka. So knowledge is very powerful. So telling this to the mind that please remember this. Now another beautiful meaning given here is Om Krato Smara Kritagam Smara. When it is given in two lines, one line is to say whatever I have done and whatever I have got by the grace of Guru and God. Second line is to thank everybody who has contributed in this journey of my life. Every single person is a contributor. All people, all beings, not only people, all the beings, all the objects, everyone. Thank everybody. So when we say every day, na, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, it should come from the bottom of my heart, saying that I wish happiness to everybody. Sarve Santu Niramaya, may everybody be free from any diseases and problems. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, may everybody see auspicious. Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, nobody should suffer. Then that should become the bhav of the seeker. That I thank everybody. No dvesh towards anybody. Then what happens, Here only I leave all my karmic bondages. Dropped. Thank everybody. Tata bye bye. Going. Otherwise, see you later. No, see you later. Thank you very much. No, aaujo. Jao jo, bas. No coming back. For a seeker is bye-bye. Tata to the world, gone. So Om Krato Smara, Kritagam Smara. And Kratu also means, as I said, fire, no? Sacrifice. So there is a prayer to that fire also, that, oh fire. Fire here means the Lord. They think, oh Bhagwan, please remember what all ritual I have done from the childhood, what all ahutis I have offered, everything I have offered. Now you please lead me to the appropriate loka according to that. So this is where it is. Vayu anilam amritam atedam bhasmantagam shariram. Now the last mantra. Now I have dropped the body. Now what happens? I have dropped the body, meaning once I drop the body, what should be the next? So at the time of dropping the body, one is saying that please, may I remember the Lord, may I remember the good deeds and all that. Now after dropping the body, what should happen to me? Agnenaya supatharaye asman vishvani deva vayunani vidvan yuyodhyasmajjihurana meno bhuyishtham te nama uktim vidhema. So Agne means one who leads from the front. Agre nayati iti Agnihi. One who leads us from the front. Meaning, oh Agni, you please lead. Agni here means Bhagavan himself. Agni can also mean the Devata. So for the seeker who has done upasana, who has done karma, etc., one is praying to Bhagavan or one is praying, Agni, you please lead me. Agnenaya supatha. See, Agni, what is the quality of Agni? Fire will always go upward. Fire is bright, fire is brilliant, fire goes upward. So he is praying, Bhagavan, please, I have Sadgati only, not Adhogati or Durgati. So if anybody passes away in our culture, we should always say that may the soul, may the Jivatma attain Satgati. In English, if you write, you please write S-A-T-G-A-T-I. Don't write S-A-D, because they'll read it as Sadgati. Write S-A-T-G-A-T-I, Satgati. Don't say rest in peace, because we don't rest. We don't believe in that concept of we will rest one day and then one day we will rise up from the dead and the judgment day. No. Sadgati. May the Jivatma attain Satgati. Satgati means to see. Sadgati word has beautiful meaning. Satgati meaning, simple meaning is rising higher in the worlds, in evolution itself. And Satgati meaning Gati which will lead me to Sat, to the truth, absolute truth. Both way it is meaning the same. Both way it has a good meaning. So Agni Naya, oh Agni, you please lead. Agni Naya Supatha Raye, with through the good path. Raye. So Raye here means what? Rai means matter. So Raye here means prosperity. So for ordinary seeker, it means you please lead me to worlds which are prosperous, not to worlds where there is torture and suffering. So materialistic person will pray like that, ki let me have more bhoga, so swarga loka and all that. A more cultured person will say, take me to the worlds which have more knowledge, more culture, deeper values. Please take me to such environments where I can grow, I can evolve. Raya means that. For a seeker, Raya here means what? What will lead to the abundance and prosperity in a seeker is the sadhan chatushtaya. So please bless me with more and more of sadhan chatushtaya, O Agni, O Lord. The highest meaning is abundance and prosperity is only when we realize the absolute self. So that is for the Uttamadhikari. That please lead me to the... See, for different people, see, this same one line of the mantra can have so many different implications. Supatha Raye. Raye means that, abundance. So for a material person, it is prosperous worlds. For a person who values, who is more cultured, it is good values, environments where one can learn and grow. For a person who is a Vedantin, who is a seeker, for that person it is more and more of sadhan chatushtaya, satsang, guru, sanidhya, those things. For an upasak, Raya means the world of the upasya, the loka of the Ishtadevata. Please lead me to that. For a karma yogi, it means the ideal. One who has served the country will be again reborn to serve the country. Because the ideal that person has is my country. I want to work for my country. And the last one is the Jnani, the highest advanced seeker. For that person, the Rai means realization. So, Agninaya Supatha Raye, you please lead me through the good path. Now, what is this good path here? See, literally the word good path here means the path which is the northern path. Uttarayana. Through the northern path or the Surya Marga. That is called Supatha. Supatha here means that if I have not realized the truth, then you please lead me through this northern path, which is a path of no return. The southern path is the path where one again comes back. So he says, I am tired of these illusions. I am tired of this cycle of birth and death again and again. You please lead me to the northern path, through the path of the sun, to the higher worlds, where gaining knowledge, I can be liberated. So Krama Mukti, what we have seen earlier, na? Krama Mukti in one place we saw. So please lead me to that. And I don't want to come back here because the vasanas are not there anymore to enjoy in this world. So Agninaya Supatha Raye, please take me through the northern path. So not Agni is the path, Agni is knowledge, symbol of knowledge. No matter what time one dies. See, now if one dies in Uttarayan time, then anyway one will go through Uttarayan path. But if one dies in Dakshinayan time, then this prayer becomes more important. That please help me to go through the northern path. I may have died in Dakshinayan time, but you please help me to go through the northern path. If the jiva is not realized, if jiva is realized, it makes no difference. But if the jiva is not realized, it makes a difference. Of course, once punya karma and other things have to be there, but assuming that all that is there, he says, you please lead me. Agninaya supatharaye asman vishwani deva vayunani vidwan. Why? Because you are the knower, vidwan. All these paths, Vishwani, Vayunani, all the different paths which are there, you know all the paths. Deva Vidwan, you are the God, you are the Vidwan, you know all the paths. Of all the paths, you please lead me through the good path. The path which will, see this again I'm saying this is a prayer which we can pray even in our daily life, even right now. That if we want prosperity, may we get prosperity through the fair means, not through the unfair means. Culture, values, service of the country, everything, may we follow the good path in this life and even in the life hereafter. So he says, oh Lord, you are the knower of all the paths, you please guide me, because my buddhi can get distracted. You know, immediate gratification is something for which every human being falls for. Short-term benefit, fatafat. All compromises happen mainly for the short-term benefit only. And that short-term benefit is because the buddhi is very chanchal, is very fickle. So he says, you know all the ways. You please lead me. Agninaya supatharaye vishwani deva vayunani vidwan yuyodhyasmat juhurana meno. And what you should do? You please remove yuyodhya. What? Asmat. From us, juhuranam. All the crookedness, manipulation, all these. Because we are not going to give it up. If you tell me to give it up, very difficult to give it up, you take it away. Because very dear to me all this is. Because this brings me immediate gratification. So I am not going to give it up because I love it. You help me to, you take it away from me, snatch it. Yuyodhya means literally that. You remove, you snatch it. Yuyodhyasma juhurana meno. Bhuishtamte. Enaha means the sin. All the crookedness and all the sins, we are not going to give up because we are holding on to them. See, that is a sad thing, that is a contradiction. We want light, but we are holding on to darkness. We want happiness, but we are holding on to all sorrows, sins, everything. How contradictory is that? So he says, we are not going to leave all that. You please, with your power and grace, you remove these and help us to go from the good path. Yuyodhyasma juhurana menaha bhuyishtamte nama uktim vidhema. We offer our salutations again and again to you. Nama uktim vidhema. Why? Because you are competent, you are omnipotent, you are compassionate. You please help me to purify myself and drop all these. See, even after dropping the body, no, the mind doesn't drop all these very easily. That's why those rituals are done, 16 days ritual, to help the mind to let go of that identity, saying that now the body is dead, is buried, now it's finished, burnt, buried, whatever it is. Now move on. And with that, let all the memories and everything go. But the mind is very heavy still. So the prayer is, you please let me go. Please take away all these and take me through the good path. Agninaya supatharaye bhuishtamte nama uktim vidhema. We again and again surrender to you. Bhuishtamte. Nama means surrender. And we prostrate to you. Again and again, we offer vidhema, nama uktim. Our prayer and surrender we offer to you. So, O Lord, you please. So, Agni means the Lord here. Agni also means Devata. So, for a Karmakandi, Agni is the Devata who leads them to the heaven, because all the offerings that one has done is to get heaven. So for a karmakandi, Agni is the devata who will lead them to heaven. For the upasak, lead to the particular loka. For the seeker, lead to such worlds from where one will get mukti, liberation. One doesn't want to come back onto this earth. High level of vairagya is required for that. That nothing here, no desires for anything in this world here. So one will not come back here and then remain there in that Brahmaloka or Tapoloka and do tapasya there, get the knowledge, exit from there. So that is also the indicator of Krama Mukti here. So the last 4 mantras, so 15, 16, 17 is the 6th wave and 18 is the last 7th wave. So this concludes our Ishavasya Upanishad. We will chant the first mantra again. Om Ishavasyamidagam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjithaha magridha kasya svidhanam. So, grace of the Lord, blessings of the Guru Parampara, we have completed the study of this beautiful Upanishad and we surrender this at the feet of the Lord. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakriti svabhavat karomi adyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. Om Tat Sat Chinmayarpanamastu. And my salutations to all of you also for being most enthusiastic audience and for giving me this opportunity to reflect on this Upanishad.